Hey there, it's Taco Tuesday. Another installment here. This is Vicki-Lynne with Cooking Vegan with Vicki. So today's taco, we're going to use a chorizo. So for people who don't know, we normally get soy chorizo. It's pretty readily available here in the States, but I did reach out to a few of my friends back in Canada, and they advised that that's really difficult for them to find. So I searched and did some research, and we're actually going to make our own chorizo or soy chorizo. And what we're going to use is a textured vegetable protein, which is pretty readily available. This one's by Bob's Red Mill. And if you can't find it in stores, Bob's Red Mill has a slew of products. They're all fabulous. Most of them are gluten-free. And actually, this TBP is actually gluten-free. It's fat-free, no cholesterol. It is a fabulous product. It stores very well. And this is what we're going to make for our soy chorizo. And this recipe is super simple. We're going to do the majority of it just in a simple blender. You don't need a high-speed blender or anything. We're just going to mix some of our ingredients. And again, as always, the recipe is going to be down below. So I'm not going to give you all of the measurements while we're going through this. It is going to we're going to use a little enchilada sauce just to speed things up a little bit. I will put down a recipe below for an enchilada sauce if you can't find the canned stuff. This is super simple to make on your own. And some of the other ingredients are just some simple spices that we're going to use, apple cider vinegar, some soy sauce. The other thing you can also do, there's a place here in Chicago called the Spice House. I will also link their website. They actually sell a chorizo blend, and they ship all over the world. This is, if you're going to get into making your own chorizo, this might be another option for you. They have an awesome blend of your own. But again, try making your own first. If you don't like it, you can always, this can be a backup if you need it. And again, we're just going to put everything into the blender, and then we're going to head over to the stove and we're going to cook it down. All right. So the first thing that we're going to put into our blender is about 2 tablespoons. Oh, let me grab a spatula. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And again, I just put mine, when I open a can, I just put mine in the freezer. So I just took mine out to defrost it. We're going to use a little bit of some veggie stock, and I'm going to start with about 1/4 of a cup. You can go between 1/4 of a cup and 1/2 a cup. And that's going to depend on how thin or thick you want yours. Now with our enchilada sauce, we're going to use about 1 cup. We're going to put that into our blender. We're going to add some nutritional yeast and the rest of our spices. And again, adjust your spices depending on how spicy you want it. And you'll see when you're looking at the cayenne pepper and stuff. And then we're going to use, I'm using 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. If you want to keep it gluten-free, make sure you're using tamari. And then we're going to put in apple cider vinegar, also 2 teaspoons. Okay. And then we're also going to, wrong cap, we're also going to need 1/2 of a red onion. So what we're going to do is just put the lid on this. I'm going to give it a little quick blend. Perfect. Now we're just going to cook this up. Okay, so now we're going to put in our sauce that we blended up. Get that in our pan. Add in our 1/2 of a red onion, finely diced. Start cooking that around. 1 cup of our TBP. Now this TBP can be used for any kind of ground beef in your chilies. And again, we still can add another about 1/4 of a cup of liquid. And it just is going to depend on how thin or thick you like your chorizo to be. So we're going to let this cook down. And then just let it keep on cooking. Okay, so this has been cooking for a little bit. I have added about an extra 1/4 of a cup to a 1/2 a cup. And that is delicious. Now you do need to play around with your flavors. My enchilada sauce was a medium heat. And just play around with the cayenne pepper. You make it as hot as you want. But there you go. That is your own soy chorizo. Okay, so our soy chorizo is all done. Now we need salsa fresco for it. So last week we had our pico de gallo on it. So we're actually going to mix it up this week. We're going to try something different. So we're actually going to do a pineapple one. So we'll have some pineapple that's finely diced. A little bit of jalapeno. So again, salsa fresco is one that you see everything in it, sort of like our pico de gallo. Has the same kind of ingredients. All of them are the same except for instead of tomatoes, we're going to have our pineapple. You could do a mango salsa, and we're also going to have a little bit of red pepper, and this looks lovely. And of course our cilantro. And again, if you're not a cilantro lover, you can leave it out. And it needs a big squeeze of lime. Let's get some lime in here. Let's see if that's going to be enough. Okay, mix that up. And of course, the longer you leave it, we'll put a little bit of salt in here in a second. And of course, the longer you leave it, the more flavors will impart in it. But this is going to give us a nice, fresh flavor because, of course, our soy chorizo that we made is a little spicy. And again, play with your flavors. My enchilada sauce that I use, and again, that's going to be available to you. So if you're in Canada, if you have a Food Basics or anything like that, that'll be in the ethnic aisle for sure. I know I've seen it when I used to live back home. That should be easy for you to find, the enchilada sauce. There we go, a little bit of salt. You always need a little bit of salt. Balances your flavors, especially with the hot and the mild. So what we're going to do is I have a few of the hard tacos in the oven. I'm going to do some soft tacos. And today we're going to do some radishes, our pickled onions. Because we have our red onions in here, I'm not actually going to do any of the raw ones. We have our purple cabbage and our regular cabbage, green cabbage. I'm going to bring them over for you. Bring everything over so everybody can see everything. Is that better? So, okay. Ruben's behind the camera, guys, helping me out. He actually did try the soy chorizo. He gave it 2 thumbs up on that. I did add a little extra vinegar, so I will adjust the recipe. And again, you adjust the recipe for your liking also. I find it was perfectly warm enough on the back of my throat, but if you think that you need a little bit hotter, add a little more cayenne pepper. Okay. So let's get the hard tacos out of the oven. And again, we're just warming them up. We don't want them too hot. We just want to warm them. There we go. Chihuahua. Hot. Okay. And we have our chorizo. So we're going to take our hard tacos and again, put our chorizo in there. So what would you put next, Ruben?
The pico de gallo, or
the pineapple?
Yeah, pineapple.
So you're getting the sweetness and stuff hitting at the same time as the hot? Okay. I'm going to do the pineapple, and the colors are just fabulous. Oh my God, that looks so good. There we go. And we're going to do a couple of soft ones. Those are hot. And don't forget to stay tuned tomorrow. I'm going to show you tomorrow all the things that you can do tomorrow with all your leftovers. And there's a long list of everything you can do with your leftovers. And you don't want to miss it. Hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget, guys, hit that subscribe button so you get every Taco Tuesday and all my other recipes that are going to go live. And I hope you've enjoyed this one. See you again. Bye.